Hi, everybody. A very, very good morning to you on this Wednesday morning. And it's been quite a morning across the state as an Alberta Clipper has produced a moderate snowfall from west to east. It's ending as we speak from west to east and leaving behind it yet more snowfall. The Clipper developed snow right around 5 a.m. along the New York State border. It ended by about 8 or 8:30 in western Connecticut and is now winding down by 10 o'clock in the central and southeastern parts of the state, and will be out of here completely by 10:30 to 11 o'clock this morning. But it is certainly leaving a mark. We are watching our traffic cameras with some amazement as, well, people driving in the snow, having all sorts of issues, whether it's tractor trailers, 10-wheeler box trucks, cars, everybody, SUVs. There were quite a few spinouts, quite a few crashes. Also, schools, what a difficult call today was. And we said this, everyone kind of, missed out on Monday because of the blizzard. But yesterday we stressed the timing of this would be less than ideal. I think I even talked about it during blizzard coverage as the blizzard was winding down. But that's neither here nor there. So the timing would be terrible, and that's exactly what it was. The amounts we forecasted 1 to 3, and my work Facebook feed, lit up with people just furious, and I just find that so interesting. And we'll dive into that a little bit deeper in a little while. But when the snow starts, when you say it will, and it ends, and in some cases, a couple of towns might have picked up 1 inch more because of the fluffiness nature of the snow in some areas, not all. It's just amazing to me. But it's the world we live in. People are quite triggered about everything, including the weather. So let's go into the weather rundown and show you what's going on. So we've got snow ending from west to east quickly as we speak. The timing was terrible, so traffic was really, really difficult. But as soon as the snow ends, the treatments go to work and the road conditions improve like that. Okay. So yes, very trying, no doubt about it. Very difficult. But it's ending. I'm just checking out a couple things here. It turns out there's some stuff I can do and maybe even have some fun with, but I'm not in the mood to have fun right this second. So 2 to 4 inch totals, and those 4 inches will settle to 2 or 3 here and melt by mid-afternoon. We will get melting going on. We have 3 quiet days ahead, meaning Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And by Saturday, I think with a west-southwest breeze, we could be 45 to 50 degrees. So we'll get some melting. Melting doesn't happen that quickly unless you have a rainstorm and fog-eating or snow-eating fog and high dew points and warm temperatures. I don't see that happening yet, but we will begin a slow, steady melt. Since Monday, you may want to get your roof cleaned off again. Because you don't want ice dams and that sort of thing. And the slow, steady melting can lead to that because it refreezes at night and the water is directed inside your house in many cases. The pattern looking ahead, and to be quite honest with you, the extent of which I'm not positive about, but the pattern looks nasty. Not so much Sunday, but the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time period, I'm not looking at a major coastal storm, but I'm looking at just gross weather. I think that's the best way of terming it. So I'll say the pattern looks nasty, and we'll get into why, as we always do, in a moment. Let's talk snowfall. Leading up to midnight, last winter on this date, we had 21.7 inches of snow as of midnight. Last winter was feeble when it comes to snow. This winter, we're 30 inches above that at 51.0. This is at Windsor Locks. I'm sorry, Bridgeport, I didn't have time to produce another graphic for that. But it's pretty even, I believe. I'll look that up before we finish this feed. This feed will be shorter than usual because I have to go get my hair cut. My hair is wicked long. And then I have a physical because I'm 60. Those are important. And then I have a workout at the gym, and then I will pass out. Just wanted you to know my schedule for the day. Our departure from normal is 11.6 because the average from 1991 to 2020 is 39.4. We're at 51, and winter is not over, as we know. As far as accumulating snow, it could be over, but it's probably not. So we're running above the 30-year average by a foot. So yes, if you're annoyed, if you're tired, it's okay. This is not the snowiest. I'm glad we didn't have social media in 94, 95. Or was it 95, 96? 95, 96. We had 115 inches of snow. And everyone just kind of lost their collective minds at home, not on the socials. I believe America Online did remember America Online with the dial-up modem and you could send a message to your family? How cool is that? So what's average for the Hartford area? And this is from October through April. Yes, we do average 1.1 inches of snow in April. But March, which starts on Sunday, averages a seasonal average, 30-year average of almost 10 inches of snow. So average would say we're not done. And that's how the snowfall goes. So our total average now over 30 years is 51.7. That's actually up a little bit from the previous 30-year average, which I remember as being in the mid to upper 40s. October's 30-year average is only 0.7 inches, but we had 18 one day. Or I think it ended up being, 12, 14 in one day in October 2011. Interesting. So our total average now is 51.7. We sit at 51.0 right now. Kind of interesting. I thought those were interesting statistics. I see your questions. I see your messages, and we will get to those as we always do. Okay, here's your live Storm Tracker Doppler radar at 10:13 a.m. Okay, and I'll put this into motion. I had somebody write from Guilford saying, oh my God, it's going to snow till noon. And I said, who said that? Maybe an app? Yeah. I personally didn't have a chance to go in and adjust our app. So if it's ours, I apologize. But if it's the one on your iPhone, then tough luck. The snow is lighter blue echoes in southeastern Connecticut, but it's snowing. And temperatures, as the sun has come up, even though it's behind the clouds, temperatures have moved up a bit. And we're already getting compaction and melting, and the roads are already improving. So we can collect our collective minds back to being civil and pleasant and nice, instead of what I got to enjoy. Why isn't this working? I guess I have to do this. I want to go back to Connecticut. Oh, well, it's not working. I know why. Okay, there we go. All right, so there's your snowfall right now. Ending mid-morning, and yes, it's left a mark. And yes, the roads were very difficult, but as I mentioned, as soon as the snow ends, we tend to see some improvement. So we widen the perspective, and what can happen today is there's a weak, this is all along a warm front, by the way. And then there's a pretty weak cold front that'll come by tonight. And you see there's some snow squalls near Lake Erie. I'm pretty sure Lake Erie is still frozen. I haven't checked, but I think a lot of it is still frozen. So there's a little cold front back there across Lake Erie that'll come through this evening or tonight, maybe with another rain or snow shower. So let's not lose our collective minds over that. I think the big thing that has people a bit triggered today, more so than other days, is the school situation. And I get it. I never had to live it because I was always working it. But if you work, and now all of a sudden your kids have gone from a school delay to a school closure, it messes up the day in a big way. And I know they weren't in school yesterday in many cases because we were cleaning up the blizzard. Of course, they weren't in school on Monday. So people, again, are saying, oh my gosh, well, what about Thursday and Friday? Well, everything looks like it misses to our south, so the kids will go to school for Thursday and Friday. There's nothing to interrupt that fact. And next week is a whole different ball of wax. So I get it. Some school districts were not going with any type of delay, which I found to be kind of crazy, actually. 1 to 3 inches. I mean, 3 inches is impactful. And if the meteorologist says 1 to 3 inches, it's impactful. So why would you not plan a delay? Have we not earned any trust at all over 30 years? I don't know. Call me crazy. I'm sure some of you are, but at least a delay should have been in order for today. And then a lot of delays slipped to closing. So crazy stuff. So here's future radar, and it shows the snow leaving just as expected and right on time. Partly cloudy skies. I think we do get some sun to shine through. That happens often between a warm front and a cold front. We get into some milder air. See where the arrows are coming from. They're coming from the southwest. And I think temperatures go 35 to 40. If the sun pokes through in western Connecticut, I expect it will, 40 to 45 is in the realm of possibility today. There's that cold front going by around midnight with a rain or snow shower. And then we're mostly sunny tomorrow, but the breeze is out of the northwest. It's drier, but it's milder. Low 40s seem likely tomorrow. And by Saturday and Friday, Friday looks good. There's some passing clouds. And by Saturday, it looks like if we get rid of these clouds in time, the sun comes out and temperatures go up. Here's something I want to point out to you. We just picked up some new snow. Some people have to do some snow management. I'll do a bit when I get home. But I also know melting will take place. Well, what happens when snow melts? It turns to water. What happens when the temperature drops into the 20s? It turns to ice. Okay, so that's an issue. Okay, we did drop into the single digits and teens last night before the snow arrived. And temperatures raced up, but the road surfaces were still wicked cold. And that led to ice under snow, and that's another reason why it was so bad. But now all of that is being alleviated by rising temperatures and the sun shining, radiating through the clouds, and helps the road conditions improve fast. Treatments, traffic, and the lack of precipitation really does help. And tonight we drop back below freezing just about everywhere, so keep it in mind. Let's talk the future. And what I want to show you here is the setup for the 6 to 10 day forecast. And it's an intriguing one. And this is why I think the weather will be unsettled. And we kind of did this yesterday. A ridge builds in the west where it's been most of the winter. And then the jet stream goes off to our south, allowing for some of this cooler or colder than average air to develop. Well, we know the jet stream can be the conduit and the highway for storms. Okay. Areas of low pressure can come into the Pacific Northwest, ride over the ridge, come down across the lakes. We call them clippers. But when the jet stream is set up like this, every once in a while, a clipper can become something bigger, like that. When that happens, it can be far more impactful. And my worry is right now is that could be the case. So let's take a look at the European forecast model. Here's our clipper system going by this morning. Bye-bye. Here's our quieter weather. But I want you to note that during the day tomorrow, there is something off to our south that now most models keep to our south with nothing more than, maybe a graze. Watch what happens. Maybe just the slightest, see out to sea. Now, the GFS grazes us with some light precipitation Thursday night into Friday morning. Let's see how that plays out. I'm going with the Euro. I normally do. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are quiet. The threats are low, but not zero. Saturday can turn quite mild with yet another system going out to sea to our south. I could back that up. No, it's okay. And then Sunday, we get this little frontal boundary can bring some flurries. So I added flurries into the forecast for Sunday. And then this system is really close by on Monday. Again, the American model has this impacting us on Monday. It has us getting grazed again Thursday night to Friday. But this is intriguing for Monday. And then this is even more intriguing for Tuesday with the chance of snow, sleet, and rain. This is why I started the webcast by saying, I don't love what I see. I think the pattern looks rocky early next week. So we have that in the forecast Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, this again is days, count them with me, days 5, 6, 7, and 8. We've talked about this. I'm trying to educate all of you that 5, 6, 7, and 8 are a time period where changes always seem to occur. It's the nature of the beast. We're looking at medium range, medium resolution model data. Some of these systems haven't even entered North America yet, so it's hard to get great data sampling on any disturbance. So this all could change. But in the short term, the Thursday night, Friday thing seems to be missing to the south, and I'll go with that. Okay. And looks like Saturday could be quite enjoyable for skiing. And I'm honored to open the opening ceremonies from the Department of Redundancy Department for the Connecticut Special Olympics. I'll be in Windsor, as I have been most of the last, 20 years. Honored to lead the opening ceremonies, get the torch lit, and cross-country skiing and snowshoeing, and incredible competition. That Saturday looks like a beautiful day. They have plenty of natural and man-made snow in Windsor. It also takes place in Simsbury at the International Skating Center with all sorts of fun. And there may be some other venues, but those are the two that I'm positive about. I think there's floor hockey at Pratt & Whitney. That's just something that pops into my head once in a while. I'm not 100% positive. I don't have the itinerary in front of me. But after that, things can get a little tumultuous. Okay, there's your shoreline conditions over the next 10. All right, so one thing I want to do is go back and just look at this European forecast run, because this is just one run. Again, it's just a snapshot. But I want to see, there's one system going by today. Another system coming pretty close tomorrow, but it looks like a miss. Another system develops off to our south. See it right there, south of us? Friday into Saturday. Okay, that looks like a miss. And then Sunday, this boundary could bring a front. Okay, Sunday. And then Monday, that's really close. And then Tuesday, that's on top of us. So there's a lot in the pipeline, and there's a chance that this could change and it could be even worse. Or it could be much better. That is just the nature of weather. Okay, that's weather in the Northeast, especially during our transition months. So we take a look at the regional radar showing the snow coming to an end, and we go into our comment section, which is, of course, my favorite part. I also just, if anybody can, I'm really curious about something. If you can hear this sound, I want you to tell me in the chat. Can you hear that? Or the forecast really did work out. Thank you. Thank you. Or maybe you got a little bit more than you thought. I'm just curious. Oh, gotta go up to comments. That's where you can see comments. Let's see. Yes, you can hear that. Okay, so we will have some fun with that over time. Okay, let's go. Good morning from Dave. Hi, Dave. Hi from Augusta, Maine. Troy, what makes you, I'm interested. What makes you check in from Augusta, Maine? Family, friends? Kids going to college here? I'm always curious why someone from Augusta, Maine would be watching Connecticut. But I know my in-laws watching New Hampshire because they love their son-in-law so much. Good morning, Bob. Hope you're able to catch up on some rest. Carrie, I did. I took a nice nap yesterday, and I got my favorite pizza last night for dinner and then went right back to bed. My favorite pizza, as I mentioned on this feed, is Little City Pizza in Simsbury, Connecticut. Lincoln says, you are legendary. Well, thank you, Lincoln. I appreciate that. We met 25 years ago and went sailing. Whoa, Lincoln. I remember that. We were on you were on the Eagle. We didn't sail, but we were on the Eagle. We didn't have the technology to go out on the Thames. Or did we go out on one of the other boats briefly on the Thames? Oh, Lincoln, that's a cool memory. I did a live shot from the U.S. Coast Guard, well, the dock, and I went from inside and on the incredible deck of the training vessel U.S. Eagle, and it was amazing. If you don't know anything about that boat, look it up. It is so cool. All right, I digress. Melting in Manchester and Vernon already. Thank you, Elliot. If you look at my Facebook, my station Facebook, which I'm on live on right now, you'd think that the world did come to a collective end this morning. Everyone's just got to take a deep breath. Lynn, good morning to you. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm going to struggle with some of these. Pete, good morning to you. Catherine, good morning to you. Oh, somebody checking in from Fort Myers. Carrie, good morning to you from Fort Myers, Florida. I have vacationed on Estero Beach, Estero Boulevard, twice in my life. Once without kids and once with one child. So it was before 2005. We had reservations before the one of the big hits happened, and we had to cancel our Airbnb. And I remember that distinctly. I canceled saying there's a hurricane coming and I don't think I want to be there right after the hurricane. And the Airbnb owner challenged me and said, oh, they always miss us. We're going to be fine. And then the entire, we got just devastated. It's terrible. Teresa says, good morning. Jen says, good morning. Everybody's so nice. Thank you. The beginning of March is looking interesting. Yes, it is. As I just detailed, there's several things in the pipeline, but oh man, I want to be on this call. I can't be everywhere. I got 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes to just go through this. Bolton in the house, love it. March is usually good for at least one big storm, and it melts quickly. Yes, it does. Colchester schools in session. Michelle, I wondered, were you a bit nervous, or did they beat the snow? 3/4 of an inch in the driveway. Lots of treatments down. Thank you, David. Good stuff there. 3/4 of an inch in Danielson. It was out in the western third of the state where they really got that quick 3 or 4, and it sent people into a complete tizzy. This the last snow of the season, Gregory? Absolutely not. Crazy weather pattern. I agree. Bob, is it too early for next week? Yes, it is. I gave you my thinking there. Boing. Yes, you heard it, and I love it. Okay, so good morning, Bob. You came to Goshen years ago for our school play on weather. Kelly, I love it. I got to get back up to Goshen. I have an invitation to get up there to go to the school. Still coming down in Brooklyn. Yep, it'll end very, very soon. I see that. Are we expecting more snow next week? I am. I'm not ready to say how much or anything like that. UConn basketball needs the weather. Yeah, Roger, big game tonight against the Red Storm. Big game. Big game. Okay, folks, I said I was going to cut it short, and I'm going to. I have a little city pizza. Hey, yes, it is delicious. And we just we went basic. So let me get rid of this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. I have a meeting I got to get into. I forgot. It starts in 90 seconds. Especially coming off the blizzard. We got to talk, it's a station-wide meeting. So snow ending, 1 to 3 for most. Some got closer to 1. Others got a little more than 3. That's nature. And I hope everyone was safe on the roads. The roads are fine for the rest of the day today. Watch out for ice reforming this evening and tonight. And we have quiet weather, I think, for tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. In fact, Saturday's looking good. As I always like to say, thank you for stopping by. I'll be here again in this space tomorrow. So look forward to that. And we'll have any updates to the changes or any changes to the forecast. And please, folks, take a deep breath and be kind.